guys, it's Marsha and welcome to Really Seriously For Real. Yeah, so listen, let me just little PSA over here. Look, everybody's home. I just can't find a quiet corner. I've tried to record this video so many times and either there was just a ton of stuff going on, people moving about, all kinds of noise, or I just like 2 or 3 times I forgot to turn the mic on. It's to the point I don't even want to do it, but I'm going to do it, okay? I'm going to do it. Let's talk about this last week's episode, okay? The Ballad of Roger Mack. Yeah, you heard me. Okay, I'm renaming this episode because as far as I'm concerned, I think that was the better title. I mean, like, famous last words, it's okay. But this episode is so much of a ballad and an understanding of what this man, the trauma that this man went through. It's almost poetic. So I don't know. I just feel like they kind of missed the mark on that one. Like that, I think that was a more appropriate title. Even though it was a shared episode, I still say like this was his. This was Richard Rankin's time to shine. This was Roger's moment. This was his ballad. So that's my first annoyance. Actually, I'm saying my first annoyance as though there were others. There weren't any other annoyances. This episode was near perfection. I said it. The first time I watched it, I was bored. I mean, I'm already in the house bored. When I first watched this episode, it was the midnight showing. So I was already tired. And so I remember when it played, I was like, I didn't really like it as much as I think I probably should have. So I watched it again. Oh, man, I loved the use of the silent movie trope. It was Roger hanging in the tree. I have to say, I didn't think it was going to be him. I thought it was going to be Buck. Yeah, I mean, I guess I should have known because the hand was at the neck and I just was like, oh yeah, totally. Buck is going to be the one to know to try to slip his hand between the neck and the rope so that way there's not as much pressure is going to go on his neck. So I just thought that was the case, but no, Roger is the one that had the foresight to do that. And that basically saved his life. At the beginning of the episode though, we do see Roger in action as a professor in the future, in the 60s. And so, it actually looked like he was pretty good. The real purpose of that scene is to introduce the silent movie, okay? Because Brianna, she came and they were gonna go watch a silent movie. We're getting these flashes of what he went through when he was hung to the point that he was rescued by Jamie, Claire, and Brianna. When you experience something that you just can't shake it, and then your mind keeps going back to that moment over and over and over and over again. Like, you don't get a say in that. You could just be walking down the street like, yay, life is good, and then whoosh, now you're remembering some traumatic experience. When it first started, I was like, this could, if they keep doing this could get annoying. But no, actually, I ultimately felt that it wasn't. But if somebody is going through that it doesn't matter what you want from them. They have to want it. They have to want to move on. They have to be ready. What's that thing? Share, I think it is. Snap out of it, right? I can't remember what that's from. Somebody tell me. Richard Rankin. He drove it home. He earned his stripes there. Okay, he really did. And Brianna. There was a part in this where she just told him, you think you're the only one that went through trauma? Everybody up in this show has some serious trauma in their life, right? Jamie, Claire, Brianna, all of them. Man, I thought it was hard to live in this year. There was a part where Brianna, she was just like, you thought that you had it bad, or not even just that you thought you had it bad. Like, don't think that you're the only one that hasn't gone through trauma. So have I. Or did you forget, you know? But you know what? I had to just pick myself up and I had to keep moving. Why? Because I have people counting on me. To have her kind of like go off on Roger lovingly, you know, out of love and out of concern and out of hope that he can pull himself out of it. And then that little tear from Roger, that just about killed me. Oh, but I will say this. They bring out Marceline for, you know, like those perfect little tidbit moments where she's just gonna, you know, drop a little bit of her fairy dust and then keep it moving, right? It was crazy that she had this misfire. She's with Roger and the tarot cards. Okay, so she's over there trying to make him feel better. Like, oh, let's play some cards. She's putting some cards down. Honey, why did you leave the hangman card in there? And not only does she pick it once, but twice. I was dying. I was like, am I supposed... Okay, listen, I'm sorry, guys, but there were several times in this episode that I was laughing so hard. Like, I was like, am I supposed to be laughing as much as I am in this type of episode? But I'll tell you, when she pulled up that hangman card and the look in Roger's eyes, like, what? And she's like, I'm sorry. She does it again. So this episode, it wasn't just about Roger. We also got a visitor that we haven't seen in a while. So Ian, he pops back up. Okay, I liked the balance that he brought the episode, because you're kind of like bumping these two men that have gone through this deep trauma. You're bumping them up against each other in order to help each other find themselves. But I don't know, I kind of felt like I couldn't take Ian seriously as, you know, in all the native getup, because I just didn't feel like it was authentic to him. It wasn't. It pulled me out. It pulled me out of the moment. Tryon, basically to say, oops, sorry that you know, I hung your family. Here's 5,000 acres. I mean, he's just giving away lands. You know, who wants lands? Brianna, she's like, oh, I don't want land. I want my husband. No, honey, you want the land too. They end up sending Ian. Because, I mean, like, the whole time, like, Ian is very standoffish. It was very uncomfortable. You know, like, number one, the young Ian that I remember, he was very talkative. He was very boisterous. He was very animated. He is now very reserved and very cautious and very ominous and kind of scary a little bit, you know, because you're just like, what's wrong? So I thought that was played really well, because you just don't know. You don't know what he's thinking. They do send Roger and Ian out to survey this land. It was interesting because you have a guy who's just not talking, and then another guy who's not saying much. So it's like, what do you do with that? But yeah, no, they made it work. While they were away, Roger, he comes to literally that precipice, you know, that point where he's just trying to figure out, where do you go from here? And he's looking out over this cliff. He, again, is reliving this moment where he has been hung. And then now everything starts to come into color. Everything, you know, he starts to really see everything, or the last thing that he thought of. And that was Brianna. And then all of a sudden he was cured and everything was fine. I'm like, I don't know. I kind of felt like it could have been a little bit more dramatic. I don't know. I just felt like we've gone through this entire episode where it was this carefully crafted narrative and this well thought out idea of how he is coping or not coping with this trauma. And then all of a sudden it was just like this very quick moment, you know, like, okay, yeah, fine. Maybe when he first got to this cliff, he was contemplating just ending it all. But then it just seemed like, oh, but wait a minute. I really saw Brianna's face before I died, and everything all was well. I didn't like how that played out. So that was the only thing that I thought that they could have done a little bit better. Even in those flashbacks, I think everything should have stayed black and white until he saw Brianna. Now Ian has stolen herbs from Claire, and he was going to end it all, you know. So he's burying his hatchet. I'm like, oh, that's a thing. So he's burying the hatchet, and he is, you know, saying goodbye to this life that he had. And so, you know, whatever. Roger, he goes, he kicks away the herbs, and he's just like, what are you doing, you know? And Ian is like, you know, you're one to talk. I saw you looking over the cliff. Like, how you gonna, like, you're willing to end it all. And you have everything. You have a wife that loves you. You have a child. You have family, everything. What do I have? I have nothing. And so we learn that his depression and you know, this problem that he's having is stemming from the loss of a wife, you know, or girlfriend. I don't know, just someone incredibly special to him. And they were able to kind of help each other out of that. And they were, you know, able to return home. There's still work to be done, but at least they both know that they, you know, they have a way through this. And, you know, the thankful thing is that they've done it with each other. So Roger, he is talking to Brianna, which was really cool because, you know, he says her name, and she just turns around like, whoa, wait, what? Like, did I just hear something? Did you say my name? Okay, but literally the funniest thing in the entire episode, and I don't care, nobody's gonna shame me out of this one. We laughed so long and so hard when Roger is just like, my own ancestor tried to kill me. It's like I was not meant to live, you know? And it's like, dang, that is some twisted-ish if I ever heard one. Oh, I forgot to talk about, there's like a couple of little tidbits. In fact, now let me refer to my notes. Let's see. Oh yeah, I did mean to talk about Marcelly and the fact that, you know, even though she was amiss in trying to help Roger, she did pretty good when she had her discussion with Ian and being able to drop some, you know, some pretty cool narrative for him. And just talking about how, you know, for her, she misses her family, but at the same time, she feels a little guilty that she loves where she's at now. It's okay if that's the case. And so, you know, you can kind of see Ian like, oh, okay, you know, like it was just this moment, like just sometimes you need that affirmation. It's all right if you feel this way, right? So that was really cool. What was the other thing? Murtaugh, his send-off, the beautiful song that Jocasta sang, which was pretty cool because if I'm not mistaken, Maria Doyle Kennedy, is that her name? Yeah, Maria, I'm so bad with names, but she's a singer. So I was like, I was telling Fraser, I'm like, I think she's a singer too. So see, she can sing. Isn't it cool? The little things. The other thing that happened in the episode that, you know, probably shouldn't have been as funny as I thought that it was, but hear me out. So there was a part where Brianna, she was singing to young Jimmy, and Roger was outside doing his little carpentry thing because I guess he was like, well, I'm not gonna be able to sing anymore, and so I'm really gonna have to find a skill here. So he's been leaning on carpentry, right? Brianna, she's singing, and Roger, it's very distracting to him. And I'm like, okay, Brianna, I know that you were probably trying to goat him into singing, but I don't know if that was the best idea, because it's almost like you're throwing in his face that he can't sing. What Brianna should have done, you know, start singing like, what's the word? Dang, how's it go again? You know, something like that. Or go off key, and, you know, so he would have no other choice but to rescue this poor child from this travesty of a song. That's what I think she should have done. If you're trying to goat someone into doing something, you have to give them a little incentive here. So I got a couple of questions. First of all, what did you think of the silent movie idea? Comment down below. And then also, what did you think of young Ian's return? So I don't know, let me know what you think down below. Go ahead, like, comment, share, subscribe. We're gonna try to get back on track. Maybe when the world gets back on track, then I can get back on track with these things. But, you know, as always, I hope that everyone is doing well, staying safe and healthy. So listen, thank you so very much for watching. Until next time, bye.